Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to my channel. I'm Grace Ronke Adegoke, and today I'm making a Caribbean classic, curried goat. So this is one of my items of my Caribbean cooking series. So if you like to know how to rustle up some Caribbean curried goat, to feed a few number of people in your family, or even a guest or guests in dinner parties or get together. So stay tuned, because today I'm not just cooking curry go for one or two. I'm cooking for to feed 6 to 8 people. So this is it. Stay tuned. So the first thing in cooking this curry is to prep your vegetables. And I have an array of vegetables. I have carrots, celery, potatoes, onions. The secret ingredients in these are the root vegetables, and onions is especially very key. So I have bay leaves, I have an array of spices here, but I'm not going to use everything. I've just brought them out so you can see how you can mix, or how you can substitute one for another if you don't have the spice that you need. So 3 main herbs here that I'm going to use today. The thyme, if you have fresh thyme, just pick it. Some turmeric and allspice or pimento. Pimento is the same thing as allspice, and maybe a touch of curry powder. I don't always use curry powder in this curry. Turmeric and those ones do the trick, and also sea salt. If you don't have the allspice, you can find some mixed spices perhaps in your cupboards, or some cloves, a mixture of cloves with cinnamon, and maybe a touch of nutmegs. So but today we're going with these 3, and some vegetable oil. I'm using rice brown oil today because it can withstand high smoke, because I'm going to caramelize the meat in the pan. So not using olive oil for this purpose. And also a couple of the sweet fairy spicy scotch bonnet peppers. These are very aromatic. I prefer using them to the roadside chili or any other type of chili. So let's get started in prepping the vegetables. My hands are clean, wash them just before. So I'm going to take the vegetables one by one and cut them down to chunks. I like to see chunks of vegetables in this curry. I don't like them to be lost in the curry. So if you don't want much carbs in yours, you can reduce the amount of potatoes that you put. But I always like to put plenty of carrots, and especially onions and celery. They give a beautiful aroma to the dish, and the taste, of course, not just the aroma. Okay, so and as far as the meat is concerned, you can substitute your goat for lamb or chicken or even fish. And even if you're vegetarian, you can throw in some chickpeas and butternut squash for more nutrition. So potatoes are almost done, and I've got a few other vegetables. I didn't want to prep this behind the scene. I just want you to see what goes into making a curried goat, so you know exactly how much time you need to make this when you're making yours, and how easy and quick they are. If you are using potatoes, sometimes I don't peel the potatoes, but these are organic potatoes, and they've got some blemish on like spots. I don't like to see spots in my food or blemishes, so I've basically peeled this one today. So normally I will use small baby potatoes, new potatoes that are almost with no blemish. So leave the skin on, peel the skin, it's up to you. And also, if you already have sweet potato in your cupboards or in your vegetable basket, use sweet potato or even yam as your alternative carbs. So, and also you can use butternut squash as I said, or any other root vegetables. So I have the carrot here. Again, chunk, 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 chunk. Big chunks of carrots in the curry so they don't get lost in the cooking. I just throw them all in here, cut them up. I've got 4 carrots together. You have a good sharp knife, you can just cut them down together without wasting any time. So 4 carrots done all together, and I have the celery here. You can just basically cut this down as well, okay, like that. Easy to do. And also, because this is also organic, there was plenty of soil on this vegetable, so I've had to wash it thoroughly and rinse it through a few times. So it's very clean now, no worries at all. So there we go. There. Okay, and you can see the amount of celery I'm putting in this curry is this is a real treat. And you can also use leek in this dish if you have leek, and spring onions also in here if you have them. So here, last of the celery going in. So I have some bay leaves. I'm just going to take a few more and throw them all in. This is from my garden. I've got lots and lots of bay leaves. So use as much as you want to your art content. Bay leaves are really good. It gives very nice aroma to the dish. I love bay leaves in rice dishes and also in meat dishes. So the rest of the bay leaf out of the way. So we now have the onions. I've left the onions to the last because I don't want to cry. Okay, so these onions are really strong. Okay, so, and again, you can dice the onion to as small as you want it. I don't want it too diced or too small. So chunks of the onions coming in here as well. Okay. Okay, almost there. You can see the amount of onions in this cooking is quite a lot, and I love it that way. So ginger and garlic also, you can use them. I have ready prep garlic to throw in as well. Look at this, the amount of onions. That is a secret ingredient in the curry cooking. You know, every curries of the world love to put good amount of onions in, and onions are done. There we go. Let's move it out of the way. So all the prep are done now, and we have the chief ingredient, which is your meat. Okay, so as much as you want, put in the bowl, throw it all in the bowl, and the spices. So I'm going to marinate this in this big bowl, so I have enough space to work the magic. All right, so here I'm going to use this spoon so you can see what I'm doing in here. 4/8 teaspoon of turmeric. I love thyme, so you can just shake it in if you like. Okay, 2, 3, 4. You can put as much thyme as you like. It's one of those spices that does not overpower what you're cooking. All right, so we have our Caribbean chief spice here, the allspice, and if you have it in your cupboard, either ground or whole, just use it or brand it yourself. Put it in a grinder or a mortar and pestle. As I said, you can always substitute cloves, nutmegs, and cinnamon for this. Okay, so some sea salt in there. Again, when you're using any of these meat, you don't really need oil. The amount of oil we need is not much at all. This is just to bind the meat together. I mean the spices, to glue them together to mix with the meat. So I'm just giving it a good mix. You can use your hands to mix this, or just use a spoon or a couple of spoons together to mix it. So something else that is important to bear in mind is the meat, after you've marinated it, you can put it in your fridge and let it stay in the fridge for overnight or a couple of hours, or cook it straight away, because the slow cook method is going to get the spices into your meat anyway, and the rest of your vegetables. Already crushed ginger and garlic frozen is going into the mix. Okay, so as we get the onions going, you can then add your meat into there and let it get started. Okay, so just going to drop in the meat to caramelize. Perfectly nice. So almost dry roasting the meat in the onion, ginger and garlic coated in the spices already. So we let the meat caramelize and the spices will ooze out. The meat will ooze out its own liquid at some point, and also in about half an hour or so. I'm going to add the vegetables and let them stay in and cook together with the lid on. Okay, and also one last thing to chop is the Scotch bonnet pepper. What I encourage you to do is you can wear a pair of gloves to protect your fingers. So if you're cooking for people who don't really like spices, just cut these open and throw them in and let them cook like that. Or if you want the best of this, the heat of the Scotch bonnet, just chop it down or blend it in liquidizer with a little bit of liquid, pour it in, and I think that's what I'm going to do. I'll throw it in either straight in the pan or in the liquidizer today. Let's see how I feel. However, there is no hard and fast rule. You can chop it and throw it in, or just put it in like this. Okay, once your liquid gets in, it will blend in with the liquid and you probably won't get much. And you can also take the seed out of them to reduce the heat or the spice, how hot they are. Okay, so we let that carry on cooking for about half an hour and throw in the vegetable. I don't really want them to be soggy in this cooking. I will add the bay leaf now into the whole mix. Okay, and you have your vegetables, all your root vegetables, they are in here. Okay, and as I said, you can reduce the amount you put, add some chickpeas for more nutrition, some butternut squash, substituting for the potato or a mixture of both, and also sweet potato or some yam diced in as a combination with vegetables. Okay. So bay leaves in there. It's getting very aromatic. Let's see how it's going. So let's see what is happening on the dry roasting front. That's what we got now. The pan is sticking now. Okay, so you can add a little bit of liquid to stop the stickiness or sticking down of the pan. There's quite a lot of heat in here. Okay. So that's what we've got at this stage. And what I'm going to do is put the lid back on, let it soften a bit more. If you don't have time to wait, just put this in a pressure cooker, and that will speed up the cooking process. Or if you're happy to let it carry on simmering or cooking at a low heat, you leave it for about an hour or so. I'm adding the scotch bonnet pepper at this stage. I didn't want to add it at the beginning of dry roasting so it doesn't choke me. So those are the scotch bonnet pepper I've added. And also I'm going to add the root vegetables into this mix. Hopefully they will blend together with the rest of the spices. So this is what we have. I'm going to add some liquid now. You can add a few cups of water, 2-3 cups into this. It doesn't matter how much liquid you add because it's going to dry up, and you know the potato, the carrots, or the root vegetable will absorb the liquid, and you have some thickness from the starch in your root vegetables. So your curry is going to thicken up, you know, as it carries on cooking. So it's no need to worry about the measurement of the liquid. However, just add some liquid, not too much. You can add it to cover the whole of the mix if you have a bigger pan. As you've probably noticed, I've separated half of this into the other bigger pan, you know, onto the other hob. However, the plan was to put them all together in one pan. So I've decided to do one mild and one spicy. Okay, so because not everybody likes the spice, right? So there we go. 2 halves of scotch bonnet pepper into here, just one whole scotch cut into 2 halves and throw in, and the other one I can put more scotch bonnet pepper into the cooking. So I'm going to leave that there for a while and let it carry on cooking. And towards the end of the cooking, I get some coriander, chop it up, and if I have plenty of the coriander stalks, you know, lots and lots of them. They are very, very essential in this curry. I love the effects that it gives the curry. So yeah, we just let it simmer away and leave it there for as long as it takes. You know, if you have other things you're doing in the house, leave your curry to carry on cooking as you go and attend to whatever else you want to do. Or as I said, put it in pressure cooker and hands off, you know, so that will speed up the cooking. But today I've got quite a lot of volume in this curry, so I'm not using pressure cooker. And also I don't always use pressure cooker, to be honest, and the pressure cooker isn't going to take the volume that I'm cooking today, you know. So in a little while I'm going to reveal the outcome, so stay tuned, guys. So the mild curry is stewing away nicely. Look at that, it's coming to the boil and it's cooking nicely. I like the colors already. Hopefully the taste will be enormous in this cooking. So I'm going to put the lid back on, and you really don't have to keep checking it or mix it, because the liquid you've added is going to do the trick of cooking together, and you just need to serve it up when it's ready. So in about an hour or so, have a taste. If it's soft enough for what you need, perfect. If it's not, let's carry on cooking until you reach the softness that you want. But in an hour, as I said, this curry is going to be edible and ready to eat. So guys, stay tuned and keep watching. Thank you for watching. So 20 minutes into the cooking, this is what we have. Curried goat with all the spices, your ginger, garlic, your allspice, turmeric, and also your root vegetables, as you can see them in here, the carrots, the potato, lots and lots of onions, and the celery in there, the scotch bonnet pepper, and some liquid, and let it, and sea salt, don't forget that for seasoning. Let it carry on cooking, you know, for about an hour. And this liquid, golden liquid, will thicken up so nicely, and you can serve it up with some rice, or eat it without any other carbs, because you got potatoes in there. And you can serve it with some baguettes or naan bread or whatever else you like mopping your curry with. But in this case, I could just eat this because you've already got root vegetables in there, especially if you're cutting down on carbs. And as I said, the root vegetables, you can substitute the potato for yam or butternut squash or sweet potato. And also for more nutrition, add some chickpeas into this curry. And if you're vegetarian, omit the meat. You can put anything that you like in this curry. Absolutely, mutton, goat, chicken, or even fish. So we wait and let it carry on cooking, and we see what we have in the end. Okay, let it carry on simmering for another 40 or so minutes, and it will be ready. So thank you for watching. We've come to the end of the cooking. I'm just going to get some coriander, okay, in there. I love coriander in the curry, and that's the last thing I put in. The fragrance of it just perfume the curry very nicely. Just put as much as you have for want in this. Okay, there we go. I'm just going to run this through the tap just to clean it and get it nice and clean in case of any soil somewhere. Okay, just a quick rinse. There we go. Okay, all rinsed up. We come back to dripping. I'm going to now just chop it roughly into the curry as the last thing. Okay, let's see. One more in here. Stick them all together and roughly up. Isn't it to be fine? If you have big chunky coriander, this looks like a baby coriander, to be honest. I love the stalk in this curry. You know, the big strong stalk of coriander gives a lot of flavor to the dish. So let's have a look at what we have here. Okay, now look at that. Absolutely gorgeous. This is what we have. Just going to add the coriander in there to finish off this cooking. The thickness, look at the thickness. This is thick enough. If you want more vibrant golden color, just add more turmeric. This is ready. Let's have a taste. A taste test, quality assurance. The meat is soft. Some of the root vegetables, especially the potatoes, are broken down and giving the thickness to this curry. So you don't really need any thickening agents in this. It's all fresh, no additives whatsoever. Ooh, this is insane. It's beautiful. It's really, really nice. So we come to the end of this cooking. I'm just going to serve it up. As I said, serve this with anything you like. A bit of bread or rice, or just eat it as it is. Okay. We have a plate here, a bowl. There we go. Woof. Splashing. So this is the end of the cooking session today. I hope you enjoy cooking this curry as much as I have. This is my take on the Caribbean curried goat. So thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I have other recipe ideas that I'm going to cook in the Caribbean series. So thank you guys. I appreciate you and your support. Have a lovely, lovely day. Enjoy this curry. Bye-bye. Shake down.